Hello, I'm Wendy Rapp, spiritual life coach and intuitive reader. In this video, we're going to be discussing something a little different this time. I usually discuss topics that are of a spiritual nature, but today we're going to be discussing tips and ways to deal with the fear and anxiety surrounding the novel coronavirus. First of all, I want to make it clear. I am not an infectious disease doctor, so I'm not qualified to speak about the virus. If you have any questions about the symptoms, the treatments, and preventative measures you can take regarding the novel coronavirus, I suggest you go to the CDC website, where the experts will give you information on those subjects. And there's also, and I'll drop it in the links below in the description box, there's also a link on that website that has a press telebriefing every day where you can hear an audio where there's an expert telling you about the latest updates regarding the coronavirus. Also, you can go to coronavirus.gov and you'll find information there as well from the experts. I know the information that we're hearing through the media sounds scary. And I think one of the reasons it sounds so scary to us, or is so scary to us, is because it makes us feel so out of control. I get it. I know how that feels. I spent 20 years of my life living in Southern California. And when the first earthquake hit, it was terrifying, the first major earthquake I experienced there. And it's an event you have no control over. When you live in earthquake country, you don't know when, where, or what the magnitude is going to be. So what I did at that time was learn everything I could about earthquake preparedness. And I made sure I had a stockpile in the house to get me through 2 weeks, because that's what they suggest, 2 weeks, just like the novel coronavirus. 2 weeks of supplies to take care of myself in case something happened. I also became a member of the Community Emergency Response Team, which gives extra training for people because they thought in the case of a major earthquake, emergency personnel may not be able to get into your neighborhood, so this was a way we could take care of each other. Learning those things and being prepared couldn't stop what was going to happen or what might happen, but it made me feel empowered. And that's why we do things to prepare for the worst. We buy car insurance, we buy health insurance. We have insurance in place, not expecting the worst to happen, but we have it there in case it does happen. And just knowing that we have those measures in place gives you a certain peace of mind. I think one of the things that has people most upset or worried regarding this virus spreading is the possible need to be quarantined. That kind of upset in our lives can be unnerving, but you can prepare for it. The CDC website has a list of things that you will need to prepare yourself in case you are quarantined. But I also found another really good website that I liked, and I will drop a link to it below, Syracuse.com, and the entire link will be below in the description box. And on that site, they listed everything you're probably not thinking of if you've never had to do this sort of thing before, things that you would forget to get extra of, let's put it that way. That list on the Syracuse.com site is more in line with what I needed to know back in the day when I lived in Southern California. Very comprehensive, and I will put that in the description box so that you can check that out and make sure you have everything in place. And just to give you an overview of what you'll need, you will need a 2-week supply of food and water for every member of your household. And don't forget your pets. Don't forget to get them pet food as well. You'll also need, if you have children or a baby, don't forget the baby supplies. Will you have enough diapers, formula, baby food around? If you're on medication, do you have enough to get you through an extra 2 weeks? Now, if you don't panic. You can call your doctor and ask your doctor to fill out an exemption form to give you a 2-week surplus to have on hand just in case something does happen. And if you're concerned about work, can you ask your boss if you can work remotely from home? If you have children whose school might shut down, do you have another babysitter in place just in case you need somebody to take care of the daycare for you? Think of these things now. Get yourself prepared. Doing these things now and having them in place will give you a certain peace of mind in case you do need to use them. And hopefully you won't, but in case you do, you'll have peace of mind knowing you have prepared ahead of time. And of course, you're going to want to follow the usual common sense preventative measures that we follow every cold and flu season. If you feel sick, stay home. If you need to cough or sneeze, use a tissue. If you have one available, then throw it away or cough into your elbow. Don't touch your face and your eye area, your nose, your mouth with your hands. And that's the other thing, make sure you wash your hands often. They say for 20 seconds, longer if you're a Virgo like me. Washing my hands is never an issue. I'm always doing it, a little OCD, I guess. But follow those preventative measures. They'll help you. And of course, don't forget the other common sense measures we should be taking all the time. Get plenty of rest. Rest will help to keep your immune system healthy. Make sure you eat lots of nourishing foods. Get your veggies, get your fruits, especially citrus fruits and berries, very good for the immune system. Drink lots of fluids, water, juices, very good for helping to flush the system out. And don't forget to get your exercise. Getting outdoors in the fresh air, letting the sunshine hit you is very good for building your immune system. And it's just as important during a time like this that you focus on your mental and emotional state. So first of all, remember, your thoughts are things. When you dwell on a certain thought and you have a certain emotion, in this case fear, a strong emotion like fear behind it, that can help that thought to manifest. So we want to be really careful what we dwell on. Try your best to avoid the people in your life who like to be fear mongers or who are just talking about the stress and worry of the situation all the time instead of taking steps themselves to prepare themselves. That can cause you to feel stressed out. And make sure that you do get your information directly from an authorized source like the CDC. Negative thoughts, stress and worry can break down your immune system. So it's really important that you make sure your thoughts are focused on your wellness, not on the possibility of getting sick. Use the mantra every day, I am well, I am health. If you say something like, well, I am not going to get sick, your subconscious hears it differently. For some reason, the subconscious doesn't register the not in there, and it will hear you get sick. That term will be what your subconscious is going to take in. So instead, always keep it in the present, in the now. I am well, I am health. And just focus on that and feel when you're doing it too. Put emotion behind it, positive emotion of how you feel when you are well and you are healthy. I am that right now. That will help to reduce your stress, which will increase your chances of staying well. Years ago, I read a number of books by Dr. Bernie Siegel. He's a pediatric surgeon. I think he's retired now, but he's also internationally recognized as an expert in cancer treatment, and he uses traditional and holistic methods for his cancer treatment. Well, he did a little experiment with some of the cancer patients that he was treating with humor. And he had a number of cancer patients, I think they were going through chemo, and he showed them funny movies. And the ones that were watching these movies and laughed and enjoyed themselves actually had less pain during their treatment and a greater chance of survival rate. So it's very important that we focus our thoughts on things that make us feel good and release our tensions and use humor and use laughter and use joy. It's incredibly important, especially during a stressful time, to focus on the things that bring you joy. So be mindful of your thoughts. It's okay to keep yourself up to date with what's going on. We need to be informed, but don't sit in front of the TV all day or listen to everything you hear all day long about what is going on out there. It will begin to overwhelm you, it will stress you out. Take in what you need and then turn off the TV, put the smartphone away, and don't discuss it with your friends either if they're the kind of people who need to talk and talk and talk and talk about it. Instead, find an activity that you find uplifting, whether it's reading a book, taking a walk, watching a movie that you enjoy watching. But do things for yourself that put you in a more uplifted frame of mind. And don't forget about your children. Now, remember, children have very vivid imaginations, so if they hear you very stressed out, worried, and anxious, and constantly talking about what might happen, or they are allowed to have a lot of exposure to news stories, it can scare and frighten them, and their imagination can spin it into something that's really horrible, and we don't want to do that to them. So instead, talk to them reassuringly. If they have any questions, just give them what they need to know and do it in a reassuring way. Let them know that there are doctors and experts who are doing their best to and working very hard around the clock to try to find a solution to this issue. Children will see us as the ones who take care of them, so they need to know that there are people out there who are actually working hard to take care of all of us. And it's a really good idea to do what you can to distract them from these thoughts or worries. Make sure you play games with them. Make sure they're entertained, doing things that are fun. And if they do come to you with worrisome questions, worried about their own health and they hear people dying, well, the best way to answer those questions is to let them know you're going to be okay and start talking about the future. What do you want to do for summer vacation this year? Where should we go? What do you want to do? And put it in the future. If they hear you talking about the future and talking about things that you as a family will be doing together in the future, they will have confidence in you that we are going to get through this. And don't forget to meditate and do your breath work. Call on your angels and guides to help come in and calm you. And I know whenever I start feeling stressed out about something, I do call on them and I ask them to help me get into a calmer state and help me to release the thoughts that are stressing me or worrying me. It does help. Meditation and breath work also really, really is helpful and important. And carry crystals that help to support your wellness. A few of my favorites are green aventurine, which is just a great overall healing stone, healing crystal. Procesiolite is how I think you say it, but I'm going to put the name right here. It's an aggressive healer of the physical body, and it also helps to reduce stress and anxiety. Also, leopard skin jasper, which is just a beautiful stone. I love it. I have tons of them. Carry leopard skin jasper because it helps to support and boost the immune system, and that also helps to reduce stress. And don't forget to daily put that protective bubble of white light around you, the divine white light. And all spiritually awakened people should be doing that every day anyway. But during this time, I've been using that protective bubble of white light around me. And then I ask Archangel Raphael, who's the healing angel, archangel of healing. I ask Archangel Raphael to please fill the inside of that bubble with healing energy. And I see the color emerald green because that is the color associated with that archangel. And I just see that healing energy surrounding me. Then I also put that bubble around my pets, around my home, around my workspace, and everyone in it. So if you do that with your family, your workspace, your home, it will add an extra layer of protection. I hope those tips were helpful for you. The greatest takeaway here is to try not to stress, not to worry, and to make sure you are prepared. And the links to help you do that, I will put below in the description box, so please check those links out because I found them very helpful myself. As always, you can connect with me on social media. The links for that are also below in the description box. If you have any questions or comments on this video or any other, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you. And as always, be well, and you are a spark of the divine. Share your light with the world. Blessings.